Liverpool information. Victor, time 1250, runway in use 09er, surface wind 070, 13 knots, varying between 040 and 120 degrees, visibility 10 kilometer or more, fuel 3,000 feet, temperature +19er, dew point +10, QNH 1021, threshold QFE 1019er.
Ground movement control is closed. Increased bird activity with
no ground.
boundary.
Acknowledge receipt of information. Victor,
163, and then we've got a secondary.
306 for all complete now.
Let's go and do our power check.
Golf Yankee Alpha Victor, sorry about that. Hold position after departure, route via Kirby, not above altitude 2,000 feet VFR, squawking 5050.
Hold position and depart via Kirby, not above 2,500 feet and squawk 5050, Golf Alpha Victor.
That's not above 2,000 feet VFR when inside the zone, please.
Not above 2,000 VFR inside the zone.
Golf Alpha Victor, correct. Taxi holding point Echo, runway 09 to QNH 1021.
Taxi holding point Echo 1021, Golf Alpha Victor.
Golf Yankee Alpha Victor via Echo, line up and wait, runway 09.
Via Echo, line up and wait 09, Golf Alpha Victor.
Golf Sierra Hotel, Cirrus SR22 departing behind you. Early left would be appreciated, please.
Early left, Golf Sierra SL. Good afternoon, Easy 63 Uniform Bravo on stand 52 with information uniform requesting clearance please for Larnaca.
Easy 63 Uniform Bravo, good afternoon, stand by. Golf Yankee Alpha Victor, that Cirrus is departing via Alton Park. There's a Tomahawk just ahead of him on left crosswind routing Kirby. Runway 09, clear for takeoff, left turn out, wind 09012 knots.
Clear for takeoff, 09 by Kirby, Golf Alpha Victor.
As we are approaching another tax year end, I thought it would be good to run through the usual reminders relating to personal allowances. If, like many, the semi-annual payments on account are an unwelcome scramble to find money, then a budget payment plan for self-assessment might be for you, so I'll run through that as well. And with increasing numbers of residential landlords using limited companies through which to run their property businesses, I'll briefly outline the registration requirements for ATED, as the annual tax on envelope dwellings.
Golf Yankee Alpha Victor, contact radar 119855, bye-bye.
119855, Golf Alpha Victor, thank you. Liverpool radar, Golf Yankee Alpha Victor, 1,800 feet, 1021, routing to leave the zone via Kirby.
Golf Yankee Alpha Victor, Liverpool radar, roger, report leaving controlled airspace at Kirby.
Report leaving controlled airspace, Golf Alpha Victor. Golf Alpha Victor, Kirby.
Golf Alpha Victor, roger, basic service leaving controlled airspace and report between Barton and Bolton.
Basic service, we're going to route via Wharton and Nelson, if that's okay.
Okay, yep, apologies for that. Advise when you wish to change to what?
We'll call Golf Alpha Victor.
Golf Alpha Victor, just be aware, it doesn't look like Wharton are open at the moment. There's a lot of Blackpool squawks floating about, but no Wharton squawks, so advise if you wish to change to Blackpool.
We'll change back to an 119950, Golf Alpha Victor.
Roger, squawk 7000, good day.
Squawk 7000, Golf Alpha Victor, thank you. Approach Golf Yankee Alpha Victor, Cessna 172 out of Liverpool to Leeds Bradford via Wharton overhead and Nelson.
Golf Yankee Alpha Victor, Blackpool into basic service, QNH 1022.
Basic service and 1022, Golf Alpha Victor, thank you.
Golf Alpha Victor, squawk 0450, and report position at level.
and we're currently 2,900 feet on 1022, approximately 5 miles south of Wharton, Golf Alpha Victor.
Golf Alpha Victor, roger, into basic service, section forward, changing frequency.
Basic service, report changing frequency, Golf Alpha Victor, thank you. I'm picking it up now, isn't it?
All stations, Blackpool broadcast, new QNH 1021, QFE remains 1020, Blackpool out.
Romeo, time 1347, runway news 14, surface wind 060, 15 knots, visibility 35 kilometer, fuel 2,900 feet, temperature +16 dew point.
So year-end considerations. We'll take ISAs first. The annual allowance is £20,000, but once we reach the 5th of April, this year's allowance will be gone. There's no provision to use up prior year unused allowances. The advantage of an ISA is that any interest or growth on investments are tax-free. You can also withdraw funds from them at any time, making them not only tax efficient for future income, but also accessible. You will, however, be contributing to them out of net or tax income. Pensions. Pension contributions are another tax efficient way of putting funds away for future income. If you're running a limited company, company contributions are a great way of reducing your corporation tax bill without increasing what you have to report as income on your personal self-assessment return. If you are employed, speak to your employer about maybe having a salary sacrifice arrangement, particularly if you are a higher rate taxpayer. This would be of particular relevance if you are marginally in high rate taxes. You could use this arrangement to avoid losing any child benefit if you have children. The annual limit on pension contributions is currently £40,000. Unlike ISAs, you can use up previous year's unused allowances for up to 3 years. There are lower limits for high earners. Pension contributions are very tax efficient, although the funds are tied up until you reach the minimum retirement age, which for many now will be 57 years old. They do require planning to avoid tax penalties if the lifetime allowance, which is frozen now until 2026 at just a little over £1 million, that's exceeded. But good to make regular annual contributions that will not put too much strain on personal or company finances.
Golf Yankee Alpha, return to controllers, please advise people not above altitude 2,000 feet VFR.
Smoking scene, not above 2,000 feet VFR, Golf Alpha Victor.
Golf Alpha Victor, approve, can you say again please?
To control airspace, smoking scene, not above 2,000 feet VFR, Golf Alpha Victor.
Golf Alpha Victor is correct, from Keithley joined downwind right, runway 14, report to the airport sign.
From Keithley, join downwind 14 right, and report SL impact sign, Golf Alpha Victor.
69 Kilo Hotel, descent flight level 70. Level 70 on a 6 second.
So what about the budget payment plan for self-assessment? Not many people will know about that, but if you're within self-assessment, you'll be familiar with the routine of having payments to make on the 31st of January and the 31st of July. For some, that can present some real difficulties. Some even get into the routine of having to take additional dividends just to cover the tax, but that only compounds the problem for next year. If your self-assessment payments and returns are up to date, you have the option to start a budget payment plan with HMRC. You can set up and manage a payment plan using your HMRC online account and make regular advance payments by direct debit payments towards your next self-assessment tax bill, reducing what you'll need to find on the 31st of Jan or the 31st of July deadline. When you're on your account, you can decide regular, weekly or monthly amounts that you want HMRC to collect. You can amend your regular payment amount, you can suspend it for up to a period of 6 months, or you can even cancel it at any time. Having a budget payment plan though doesn't mean that you can delay payment beyond the due date. You must ensure that any balance still owing after subtracting those payments is paid off by the due date, be that the 31st of Jan or 31st of July. Any balance still owed after the due date will attract interest. This isn't for everyone, but for those who are taking dividends rather than salary, they have their tax deducted through PAYE. But for those taking dividends, this might be a good alternative to avoid the lump sum payments, making it a little more manageable. So log on to your HMRC online account, follow the link for self-assessment, choose more self-assessment details, and then direct debit payment from the menu and follow the instructions.
So Secular Tango, short battery required, and it's Delta 3, stand 13.
Delta 3, stand 13, thank you, thank you, goodbye.
Bye now.
Okay, so annual tax on envelope dwellings, or ATED. So, do you own a residential property through a limited company or a partnership with a company member? Well, if you haven't registered to use HMRC's online service, you have until the 1st of April to register. The ATED period is 1st of April to 31st of March, where you own a residential property on the 1st of April 2022 that's contained within a limited company, and returns for that period must be filed by the 30th of April 2022. You can begin populating an online ATED return for 22-23 from around mid-March, but you can't submit it before the 1st of April. So this applies to residential properties or dwellings within the company with a taxable value of over £500,000. The taxable value is its value as at the 1st of April 2022. That's a value that's given every 5 years, and the last one was 2017. If it's acquired after that, then the value is its cost. And this value applies to each individual property and not to the value of the portfolio as a whole.
Visual Golf Lima Hotel. Hotel Roger, report final round number 2 following the Cessna 172.
That's a report final for the Cessna 172, Golf Lima Hotel.
Golf Alpha Victor after landing, Lima is not available, so it will be Mike or Foxtrot, runway 14, clear land 06014.
Little land 14, bye bye, Golf Alpha Victor.
So if the value of the property is within 10% of one of the value bands, you can request a pre-banding check from HMRC to get a determination as to whether the property will be subject to the charge. There are exemptions and reliefs. Exemptions mean you won't need to register the property, and so there's no requirement to complete a return. Reliefs need to be applied for. Even if a full relief applies and no charge will be payable, you still need to register and complete a return. So that's all for tax updates this time. I'm going to go now and concentrate on my approach to Leeds Bradford because there's quite a crosswind.
Continue, and likewise you will be Mike or Foxtrot to vacate.
Continue, Roger, Golf Lima Hotel.
See you next time.